got another recipe we're going to be making tonight. We're going to be making sweet and sour beef. It says in parentheses that it's Hungarian goulash. It's by Pauline Cassell of Astoria, Illinois. So we'll see how this is. It looks interesting. It's going to take a while to cook, but I wanted to tell you we did order, since ours was falling apart, we did get a new book. That's my oil getting ready there. A new cookbook, same exact one, just a different binding, and nice and clean. So we want to keep it that way.
It's not dog chewed.
Yeah. And we also ordered another one from them. This is called the South Fulton Cookbook. It's got some of the same recipes, I noticed some of them, new recipes and a lot of other stuff. Okay, and we will be going through this and doing a lot of stuff. We might even get into some of the other stuff that's way in the back. It also comes with a conversion table all the way in the back, so you don't have to go Googling or looking up what a number 303 can is.
Thanks to KK Stevens for contacting us and letting us know these were available. So.
All right, we're going to get started right away because our oil is ready to go. Okay, I put a little oil on the pan. The recipe does not mention it, just says brown. If I'm browning, I'm putting oil in the pan. Butter, oil, bacon fat, whatever you want to use. Okay, so what we need is, these are our ingredients right here. We've got 1 pound of beef cubes, 1 teaspoon of onion salt, 1/4 of a teaspoon of dry mustard, 3/4 of a teaspoon of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're using Splenda. If you've seen our videos, you know we don't use sugar because we can't have it. 2 cups of water hiding over here. 1 1/4 cups of salt. 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 1/2 teaspoons of paprika. 3 tablespoons of flour. And 6 tablespoons of ketchup. Okay. And it says, I'll read the instructions and then we'll get going. Brown the meat, add the onion, salt, combine the paprika, sugar, and salt mix, add Worcestershire sauce, vinegar, and ketchup, and then add it to the meat. Interesting. Add 1 1/2 cups of water, stir, cover, and cook on low for 2 1/2 hours. So it'll be sitting on the stove for a while. Then you're going to blend the flour in the 1/2 cup of water that's left, and for thickening. Serve over cooked noodles. Okay, so we're going to get going right away. So first thing we're going to do is get our meat browning. This is a little hot. I'm going to turn the vent on and turn this down. Got a little hot while we're waiting. That's way too hot. Turn it down a little bit.
Just a bit.
I got it turned down now. It'll cool down. It is a cast iron pan, so it's going to take it a minute to cool down. And it is making a mess, that's for sure. Sorry. Turning it all the way down, let it cool down a little bit. It was heating just a tiny bit too long. New pan, so I'm getting used to them, and I'm hoping nothing sticks. I didn't put that much oil in here. Most of that is water from the meat. Because it says to use the pan, you're going to put everything right into the pan, so you're not draining any oil off. So, tablespoon or 2, so wide pans. There's about 2 tablespoons of oil. Just vegetable oil or whatever. Like I said, I think when you want to add flavor to your food and stuff, your best bet is if you saved your bacon grease, a little bit of bacon grease, and cook your meat in that. It just gives it such flavor. All right, that's brown. I turned it down so it'll cool here in a minute. And we're going to move on to our next step, which says I believe it told us to add our onion salt. Okay, that's our onion salt. I pre-measured it. And we're just going to add that to the meat. Sprinkle it all over the meat. Okay. And then it says, I turned that down so it's good to be sitting there. Separately, they want to mix the paprika, the sugar, and the salt. Interesting. I just noticed it doesn't. Hold on one second. We have an ingredient missing. Yes. So, okay, when you read the ingredients up top, it calls for the beef, the onion, salt, the dry mustard, the vinegar, the brown sugar, the water, the salt, the Worcestershire, the paprika, the flour, and the ketchup. At no point does it tell you to add the mustard. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it goes mixing in the bowl. Okay? So the paprika, we're putting the paprika in. I'll just go along and put it in as it ordered, and then I'll add that. The sugar, which I've pre-measured right here, the Splenda we're using, and it measures 1 to 1. And the salt. Okay. Okay. This is how you know you've added everything. If you pre-measure it out, you're good. It says the mix. And remember, if your brown sugar ever gets hard in the container, put it in the microwave for a few seconds and stir. It will break up. Just kind of squish it down and it'll break up. Okay.
Oh, I should put it in too long.
Yeah, don't cook it.
Blob of goo.
Okay. Add the Worcestershire sauce, the vinegar, and the ketchup. So I'm going to go ahead, since we've already added these ingredients and moved some. We haven't put the mustard in. I'm going to go ahead and assume it was a misprint and forgotten. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in now. Because anywhere else does it say to add it.
Did we put the exact measurement of Splenda, or did we cut it back?
Well, we probably should cut back because Splenda tends to be a little bit of sweet, but I went 1 to 1 because that's what the package says.
You
that
sure?
it's 1 to 1,
I
yes.
thought it was supposed to be like quarter.
No. All right,
we'll
so
find
I'm
out.
going to measure now. I'm going to put the vinegar, which I pre-measured here. I lost my place. The Worcestershire.
Fish guts!
That's his favorite thing. And the ketchup. Okay. Ketchup's going in. Okay, and mix. Bowl's a little big, but all right, so it's all mixed up. Now it says to add it to the meat. Add it to the meat with 1.5 cups of water. So I'm going to go ahead and dump out a 1/2 cup of water here, because I did measure 2. Nice, it's all browned nicely. It is going to cook for 1.5 hours, so it's still got cooking time. It'll be good. All right, so we're going to add this first. Sorry if I get in the way. We'll move in a second.
The other side.
No, it's okay. I'll move in a second. There you go. Okay, so there's that cooking on there nicely. You notice how it took all the stuff right off the bottoms. That's part of your sauce.
That's gonna go that long. That's
No.
not much water. Yes.
Okay, and then now we've added all of our ingredients. It also cooled my pan down tremendously. We're going to get one more step here that says, now that we have added all that, we're going to put it on a low heat. Oh, somewhere between 2 and 3. And let me see, does it tell you to cover it? Yes. You got to cover it. And it's going to cook on a low heat for 2.5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. That makes a lot of noise. We're going to go ahead and set our timer for 2.5 hours. We may want to check it from time to time to make sure that it doesn't run out of water on there. It doesn't dry up, that we have it too hot. So like I said, it's a new pan, so I'm going to check it. But I still would, in any pan, make sure that it always has water on it. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into dried meat. And that would be yucky. All right, so according to this, 2.5 hours, and we will be back. It's been 2.5 hours. We did have to add water. My suggestion is that 1.5 cups of water is not enough. Maybe 2.5, maybe even 3 cups of water would have been much better. And I think 2.5 hours may be just a bit long for this. Because here's what we got. And if you look, the meat is just really done. I mean, really done. And I couldn't, if you look here, I can't get this any lower without turning it off.
Totally low.
And it just does not turn down. Now we get to take the flour and the water, the 1/2 cup that's left, put the flour in the water. We shouldn't do it that way. I'm just making the thickening agent. And you just want to mix it up real good, get the lumps out of it, make sure there's no lumps. Okay. And now this is to thicken up the sauce. Like I said, I did have to add more, so I'm really not sure. So put it all in, it didn't thicken it at all. But we're gonna let it boil here. Turn it back on. Shouldn't take much to bring it to a, there it goes. It's starting to thicken. I definitely say at the beginning more water. Or that's all I can suggest because I don't know the flavor yet. It also says to put it, there we go, that's much better like that. It's perfect. There you go, can you see it from there? It's thickened up some. It should have a nice brown sauce. Nice brown sauce. That's nice. Okay. All right, so we'll just turn it off. Okay. And I'm just gonna taste it. It says to serve it over noodles. I suppose you could serve it over mashed potatoes, noodles, rice, anything like that. All right, we're just gonna taste it right now because I haven't made any noodles or anything to put it over. So we're gonna
this is gonna be our shortest video.
go ahead and taste it and see how it is and see if I have any. See if either of us have any suggestions for this aside from water. Yeah, I also would never cook it this long again.
Probably pretty dry,
because that just cracked. It didn't
cracked.
Yeah, it didn't fall apart. I'm telling you, it cracks.
I think we had this problem last time too.
It's a tiny bit over the top cooked. I'm cutting them so you can see the insides. This one's falling apart nicely, but
yeah, just a bit.
I think it might be just a touch over the edge. So let's see. They're hot. Yeah. It's very dry, extremely dry, very overcooked. I think it more like an hour, 45 minutes would have been fine. Because right now, it doesn't have a bad taste. It's just very dry and it needs gravy, even though it has some. It's not enough. Here, let's let you try it.
I'm good.
Try it.
A little dry. It's flavorful though.
It does
Got
have
good
a flavor. I would most definitely, excuse me,
Yeah, I go about 15, 20 minutes less, maybe a little more, maybe half hour.
No. It does have the sweet.
Oh yeah.
You get it after. No, I'm definitely 2.5 hours is way too much time for this. Like I said, an hour would have been sufficient, probably.
Well, we'll have it for dinner tomorrow.
So, noodles, potatoes, anything like that. It does have a sweet, so I can't suggest anything else to put in there for different liquids other than water. So, because it has that sweet taste to it from the sugar. That's all I can think of. Just serve it with a veggie. And if I can make this, so can you. But make some changes. Adjust.
And cut.